Hello everybody and welcome back to Oakbridge Farm. So we're currently just loading up, getting some lettuce, getting the final bits of lettuce on. You can see we've obviously got our sunflowers on as well, and we're going to take these to our farm shop because there is currently a very good price, and this 20% bonus that we also get should prove quite beneficial, because I'm hoping, which I haven't looked just yet, that field, was it 33 I was wanting to look at buy. I'm hoping that that is still not drilled, because then we can then do it this time. So if we just have a quick look onto the map, and yes, field 33, and it's got one layer of fertilizer and it is cultivated, so we can go straight into that with our planter, which will be very handy. So we have 10,000 litres of sunflower oil, and 4,000 litres of lettuce. I've also just changed this yard slightly, so hopefully we can, if I don't crash into the wall, hopefully we can now stay on the gravel instead of driving across the grass all the time. There has been as well, because I haven't had a chance to record for a while, so obviously for me to keep doing the days that I've done, I tried to keep a backlog of videos, but in the meantime there has been the fenceless husbandry. I've missed that, let's go back. The fenceless husbandry, so that could be the perfect pasture for us to put into this grass field here, because obviously it's got gates, it's got 4 gates going into it. But that could be the perfect thing, as long as we don't have to do water. But right, what we are going to do, field 33, we are going to buy. That is brilliant, and we don't get much else with it, it's just a field, but we will go and have a look at our new field. So this is big, and what's nice is we finally sort of make our way over to the other side of the map. Lovely. So let's go to here. Let's just quickly check the animals. So sheep are fine. Yes, sheep are fine. Chickens are fine, and cows are fine. So there's only one job we need to do. Then is we need to take a load of silage. I think I say this every episode. We need to take a load of silage to the BGA. So then that will hopefully get us through. Well, it will do. That will get us through the night. We also are acquiring quite a few fabric pallets, so there'll be a decent amount of money there for us. Let's leave that tractor there, and where is our class? And we can get this loaded up, get this to the BGA, and then I would imagine we can then go rest and go into the next month. But we will have to see what crops we can do, if we can do any drilling next month, because if not, our silage, which, oh hello, that went drastically wrong. If not, our silage pit, you can see, is running very, very low. And if we turn on the F1 menu, there's a whole plethora of toggles on there. But if we get into this silage clamp now, it will tell us we have 81,000 litres left, so we have two loads to the BGA and we're out. So we may have to do some grass work come next month. so there's only one load left in our silage clamp now, which is annoying, but if it wasn't for this BGA we would be a lot worse off, and to progress would be very, very slow. We'll get this emptied and then we will go and rest. And there we go. So let's get back to our usual parking space just outside the house on our neighbour's verge, which thankfully we're not turning it up. So a quick change of plan. I've decided we might as well load this up because we'll have to do it tomorrow as well. So if we get it done now, it's one less job, and well, one less time lapse really. But I do think we have lost some silage somewhere. And I think it's when you get right to the very end. Has it come through the back here? Yes. So we will have to get this gathered up and get this put into the trailer, because we don't want to waste anything now. Because as I say, if it wasn't for the BGA, we would be a lot sort of more worse off. But it's just strange that I can't get a full bucket load there. And I'm just pushing it all about, but we'll try and get every last bit that we can, and then we will leave the tractor here until without smashing into it, please. And then we'll leave the tractor here, and then we may just drop it in off camera when we move into the next month. And there we go. So that trailer is now full. The rest of this silage, it's not worth putting it into a trailer, so I would say the rest of it we might as well put into our mixing plant. And then if we're desperate, we can always, if we're desperate, because we're going to fill this clamp, the new clamp behind us, so we're going to fill that first, or put the next load of grass into it, and if we're desperate, that's what we can start going to take to the BGA until we get this clamp going again. But there's another 5, so there was over, what was that, 9,000 litres of silage had escaped out the back there, which luckily we can see it and get to it, because if you couldn't get to it, that would be a proper pain, wouldn't it? I must check how much more silage I can get into here, because it will need, I imagine it will need hay and straw soon. And it definitely needs, thinking about it, it definitely needs some mineral feed to be brought back. Which again, I don't know how much of a difference that makes. I'm hoping it makes a rather large difference, so that it takes them longer to eat the food. Oh, hello, we're in the bales now. Right, let's try and get this last little bit. I think that is as good as what we can do. Oh, really, I'm destroying everything now. This is terrible. Right. Let's tip this last bit into here. We can turn this off and we can go find our house. Visit. And we will sleep, and I will see you in the morning. And welcome to March. So let's go find our John Deere. Oh, that was still running. That would have wasted a lot of diesel overnight. We'll drop the trailer off, and we now want to go and find our planter. We also want to put weight on the front of this. So I remember last time it struggled slightly. We have a lot of wool as well to move over. But we're going to go get the planter, and we are going to plant sunflowers into this field that is in front of us. Let's just back onto here. We can attach that, so we need some solid fertiliser, which luckily there's no collision there. Luckily there is some here, which this must have been from the seed drill, I would have said. So we can fill that up, or put a little bit more in than what there was. And then we can grab this weight, considering it's here. There was another one at the other yard, but I think that one is what has been on the Massey, or what you get when you start with the Massey. And we can now, where we get to here, we'll unfold this, and then we can start to get some sunflowers in. Ideally, we could really do with looking at getting a bigger tractor. I don't know whether it's too premature of me if I was to say I'll put a poll out on YouTube see what people's opinions are and what they would like to see. What I would like is to go into the large tractor category, is go for this, the TerraTrak, but go fully maxed out, and we can finance it for a year. So if we were to do that, fully max that, I'd most likely want to go BKT, and if we were to finance that and do it at a year, it's 34,000 we're spending a month for it. That's what I would like. Whether anyone else thinks differently, please do let me know. We'll do 2 headlands here. So we'll go, okay, show the lines. I shouldn't really start with the headlands first, but considering I'm already lined up like this, why not? We'll just leave a few wheel marks in our headlands. Dilemma trying to think of what's best to do tractor wise, because we do need one a bit more powerful than what the John Deere is, but financially we just can't. I don't think we can sustain it at this sort of present moment in time. We could sell the case, but that is only 50. You'd be lucky if you get 60,000, so that almost covers 2 months of financing. The only other thing that I did think of is, would it be better to extend our loan to the money that we need? But then that means we'll be going to about 300,000 on the loan, which I do believe that the loan repayment will be less, but we won't, and we'll own the tractor outright. So I don't know whether that could be sort of a more viable option. But I just don't believe going into that next field that we have, because we've got to drill the next 3 fields with this. I just don't believe it's going to be. It'll be hard work doing it with this. That is for absolute sure. But we'll drop that off there and then drop this off, because we now need to go put this onto the mowers and get that going. And it did remind me, looking in the wheat field next door, of all the dead weeds. It did remind me that we do need to go back to field 13 and we do need to weed it. I am going to let a worker do this, I think. So we go, is it control X? No, that's it's control Y. That's what we want. And now we can, if we hold 1 headland, AI worker. Right, let's set the AI worker off doing that. Please, are you going? Yes, they're just wearing the same clothes as me. We're going to have a look here. So if we go to finances, does it tell you how much the repayment is? So we owe 70,000. So let's, very close there. So we owe 70,000. We have 98 in the bank. So if we go onto here, full power, BKT wide, so we need 300,000. So 300,000 means we can buy that outright with the loan. I think the loan, if it's only £1,000 or 2 a month, I think that's the better option. So we're not putting ourselves, in a huge sort of financial crisis. Right, so we need to borrow 370,000. Right, this is daunting. Let's get going. Helps if I press the right button. So we're going to go borrow and get this up to 370,000. And we are there. So, that being said, let's finally do it. Let's go get this. Full power. About the amount of times I've gone through and clicked on this now. 390,050. So we've got plenty. So let's buy. And we now have a new tractor and £6,000 in the bank. That's soon gone down. Look at this. I've wanted one of these. I've wanted one of these for an absolute age. Let's have a look inside of it. They are lovely. I wish that GPS screen would work and was live. This is brilliant. Right, let's go take this back to the yard and we can put this on the planter. We won't start planting just yet because we have to spray that field off. But I couldn't resist not having this any longer. Oh, it's beautiful. I know I've said it before, but it's just a lovely machine. And if you watch when you turn, watch the back tracks as they turn differently. But we will just put this on and we'll take it down to our new field 33. Does it have front hydraulics? Yeah, it does. So we'll take this down to our new field 33. We will leave it there whilst we then come back and we'll jump into the Massey, and then we can, if I remember how to open the gates, we can jump into the Massey and we can take that and go get rid of those weeds in that field. And then we must remember, next month we have to get our weeder and put it through our sunflower fields, because we forgot to do that last time and had to use herbicide instead. So last time we entered this field was to try to do a contract which they wouldn't let us do because they had paid us to do it before we'd actually done it, which was quite interesting. But let's turn into here, try not to scratch the new tractor, and we can just unfold and just leave it here for now. So whilst that's there, I'm going to turn it off. We don't want to rack up the engine hours on it, and we need to find, like I'm doing on this one because that's still going, turn that off for now. Let's go find the Massey Ferguson, and we need to unload, so dump liquid fertiliser, and we'll get this done, and then we will refill with herbicide. With both tanks empty, let's refill. I don't know how much we'll need. Hopefully we just fill one tank, which is the back tank, so the bigger of the, well, what do you say, it's the bigger of the two? Yes, the bigger of the two. Hopefully just doing that one will be enough to get us through this field. And then, like I say, to save money, we spent 30,000 odd on a hoe, which should save on herbicide costs, but only if we remember to do it. Let's get unfolded, which this does take a bit of time, which I can't wait to when we get the is it the Agrifac? When we get that eventually, that will be absolutely amazing. But I am just going to have to apologise because I do need to nip off very, very quickly. So what I'm going to do is set this onto a worker and then let you enjoy the pleasures of seeing how good they are or how bad they are. So I just really hope that if I put it onto the worker now, that they don't crash and do anything rather silly whilst I'm away. So enjoy. Doesn't look like anything too drastic has happened in that time lapse. How far did he get? Again, my apologies, I just need to go quickly grab a phone charger and a drink. weeds. Oh, so he's just got this last bit of a headland and then that bit. Why did I miss that bit? Anyways, got that last bit and that bit to do, and then obviously we're going to hoe one half of field 5, and then when we drill 33, which we'll do that again this month as well, that will need hoeing next month, as well as gathering all of this up into silage cuts. So it's going to be a very, very busy couple of months. And what we also need to think about is make sure we've got enough finances to make sure we can rent a harvester. But what we'll do is we'll quickly let this finish off. There's no point taking over, because otherwise he'll turn the sprayer off and stop, and then I've got to start it all again. So that last little bit there, and he's done. So let's get this back to the yard, and we will then assess what's going on. Our worker there is motoring on fairly fast, which is good. Speed up the process there. But we will go. Just noticed that sunflowers and lettuce is still holding a very, very good price. So we might as well take the case and go. I should drive on there's a road there for a reason. Might as well go take the case and the load of silage, and then we could throw the sunflowers into the sunflower oil, I should say, into the back of the trailer. Likewise with the lettuce, get them sold, just to make sure that our bank balance isn't looking as sorry as what it is as it is at the moment. So where is our case? Is still here. It's the first time, I can't remember, did I turn around here? Last time we sold to the farm shop. We'll turn around here and drop this off and get the silage. Be interesting to see how this pulls it, because I ain't towed this trailer for a while, especially full of silage with the case, which I'd love to get rid of it at some point, but just financially it just doesn't seem like the correct thing to do. But anyways, we'll get ourselves up to the BGA and to the Ormer. Once again we arrive at the BGA, or Planet T, however you pronounce that. Plan ET, phone home. Sorry, that was that was absolutely terrible. But yeah, we'll get this tipped and then we'll throw our sunflower oil into it. Whilst we're here, did I ever look inside this building for a collectible? I don't seem to remember looking in, so we'll bring up the F1 menu. Let's just have a quick look. Because there must be, I haven't found one up here, but there must be one around here somewhere. But no, it's not looking very promising. There may be another building that's open somewhere. But I know last time they were all on the roofs and everywhere. If you weren't on PC, you would struggle to get to them all. When is olive oil right to be sold? June. So I do have a lot of money coming in very, very shortly. Well, that's our olive oil in. There's only 300 litres left in the factory. Well, there's a pallet that's 300 litres made, so I'm not going to wait for that. That can stay and wait until we get the last load of olive oil in. Not olive oil, sunflower oil. We'll go and get the lettuce now. Lettuce in and to the farm shop. It's looking very much like the farm shop is going to be very, very seasonal. Only when items are at, or produce is at its best price, will we let the farm shop sell it to the local village. But I'm hoping there should be 15, what were we going to say, £15,000 here? Well, I was massively underneath. 26,000, that's brilliant. And the John Deere has finished cutting the grass. So I think we will call it a day at that before I crash and make an absolute mess of everything. So we'll just pull this into here for now, because we will have to rent ourselves a forage wagon so that we can fill up one of the silage clamps. We'll also have to, thinking about it, we'll probably be best taking manure and slurry to the BGA to save using our silage, because we're still getting the digestate in return, and we're still getting money for it. Whether it works slower or what, I don't know. But we can just leave that there, because that we can use that to do the manure with, unless you'd much rather me use the fill point. But anyways, like I said, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.